the hero of the internet has returned. What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy, the wisest and most powerful of all nerds, Brimeezus. As you can tell, I am very excited to be here today. We're finally doing the review for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for the Nintendo Switch. Let's go. Much like the Nintendo Wii and The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess in its day, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is the flagship launch title of the latest Nintendo system, the Nintendo Switch. While the Nintendo Switch library is very minute at launch, similar to the Nintendo Wii, it gives the player a good amount of time to digest the new or latest Zelda game that hit the shelf. What we get with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is an absolute marvel that is captivating from start to finish. And it's more expansive than not only any Zelda game, but also any non-MMO to ever come before it. Breath of the Wild offers a healthy 40 to 50 hours of main story campaign that is literally the tip of the iceberg of what this game has to offer. For all the completionists out there, E.G. Numa said it best: you won't be able to finish this game in 1 week. And if you're looking for a Zelda game to keep you or sustain you for an extended period of time, or long after you complete the main quest, look no further. If you don't know what the Legend of Zelda series is by now, then congratulations, you've been living under a rock your entire life. Don't worry, not all hope is lost. The Breath of the Wild is the greatest a game to introduce you to this series as any. Pretty much everything that fans grew to love about Zelda over the years for the past few decades is present in this game, plus a whole lot more. Breath of the Wild boldly shakes up the normal conventions of the series. You are no longer confined to corridor-like exploration and restricted by invisible walls. Instead, you're given almost complete freedom on how you go about completing the game. After the first hour or so, your only main restrictions are 1. Lack of proper equipment to explore certain areas and or fight certain enemies. 2. Lack of health and stamina that can continuously be upgraded as you progress through the game. And 3. Insufficient skill as a player. Yes, I went there. All of which can be obtained fairly early in this extensive game, but getting high-end weapons doesn't do much to make the game any easier. Even the best of weapons will break after prolonged use, and the best clothing and armor is extremely expensive. Plus, upgrading them is even more egregious. Seriously, Breath of the Wild is like the Zelda 2 of 3D Zelda games with its gauntlet-like approach. The controls are sharp. It can take some getting used to even for the most experienced Zelda players. Defeating a lot of the enemies require a quick reaction and great timing and techniques that will take a bit of practice, as well as strategy, for there are a lot of that can potentially kill Link within 1 hit and will attack in groups. Enemies also level up over time the more you engage them, regardless of how far you've gotten in the story. All the elements help you feel as if you grow as a player in the same way that Link grows as a warrior throughout your adventure. As the game forces you to become a cunning swordsman, a resourceful and clutch archer, and on-the-spot puzzle solver. It goes without saying, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is not only the most beautiful Zelda game to ever be released, but also one of the most visually excellent Nintendo games thus far, period. Everything from the draw distance to the blades of grass dancing in the wind is breathtaking. I am extremely pleased with the directions Nintendo chose for the art design for Breath of the Wild. It's not quite the same, but most similar to The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, but without the watercolor effect and an HD rendition. The art design does an extraordinary job of capturing the essence of the Legend of Zelda franchise. Having a fantasy game that doesn't focus so much on looking realistic, but still attention to the detail at the same time, and is ideal for fantasy games such as The Legend of Zelda. If Breath of the Wild looked more similar to Xenoblade or Skyrim, the game will lose the majority of its charm and uniqueness while doing so. Granted that this is the Nintendo Switch version, I'm assuming the controls are very much the same for the Wii U counterpart. Combat in Breath of the Wild is more intricate and complex than ever before, as well as more fast-paced. The enemies pack a punch, and one simple mistake can cost you the fight if you're not properly prepared, even late in the game. And since the computer AI is more intelligent in Breath of the Wild than your previous games, it can be much more intense than seen in the Hyrule Warriors game. While I am totally in love with the one-to-one motion controls that was featured in The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, I am not at all disappointed at the button combat system that is used again in Breath of the Wild. But as anyone could have guessed from the trailers, it utilizes the best aspects of combat from every Zelda game, while introducing new avenues of slaying enemies as well, such as slowing down time to unleash a barrage of attacks, or using Link's new Sheikah Slate to manipulate the environment to take out a wave of enemies. Link is given access to the majority of the abilities almost at the beginning of the game. Link is capable of doing far more than he ever could before in Breath of the Wild, and mastering all the new controls and aspects of the game will take some time, even for the most experienced Zelda players. The game offers the players numerous amounts of tips on how to use Link's new attributes during load times. And progressing along the main story route allows the players to steadily hone newfound abilities. There are only 4 dungeons this time around, but there are also a large plethora of dungeons found throughout the map known as shrines. The shrines themselves act as fast travel points that the player can use to teleport at almost any time of the game. Towers also act as fast travel points that Link can teleport to at almost any time, which is a great help because it can literally take hours to cross one end of the map to the other with Link on foot. One of the best selling points of Breath of the Wild is that there's a lot of open-endedness as how you solve puzzles, complete challenges, and defeat enemies. Many of the puzzles in the game, which are primarily physics and logic based, outshine others seen in the series. And because a lot of them can be solved in a multitude of ways, allows the player to apply just as much creativity as logic. And that goes for defeating bosses and completing other challenges as well. Not only that, but Breath of the Wild offers more side quests than any other game so far. And you will spend much more time completing side quests and shrines than you will the main story. Especially if you want to improve Link to take on the more difficult challenges, explore the most unforgiving areas, and obtain the best weapons and gear. The Legend of Zelda series is known for its compelling storytelling. With Breath of the Wild, you get a story much deeper and emotional than anything we've seen before in the franchise. As usual, you wake up as Link, but this time you've been asleep for 100 years after an apocalyptic event caused by Calamity Ganon. Having no memories of what happened a century ago, it's up to you to fill in the gaps and gather the necessary power to smite Ganon once and for all. And that is about as much I can give about the story without revealing any spoilers. For the second time in the franchise, with the only other time being Hyrule Warriors, voice acting is used as in the narrative. The Legend of Zelda never had a hard time distinguishing its characters by using text and emotions, but the use of voice acting gives a slew of new characters in this game tons of personality. Staying true to tradition, the main protagonist Link never utters a word, but it is still more depth to him as a character this time around, as other characters will give their own impressions about Link and his behaviors and passions and history. Being a Zelda fanatic for so many years, there was even a few things I learned about Link in this game that I never knew before. And also staying true to tradition is that you still have to decipher most of the story by reading text given by the dialogue between characters. However, what's excellent about this game is that you're giving the autonomy about how you go about unraveling the story that the game presents. While there is a small degree of linearity within the game, you are free to travel and explore the land of Hyrule as you wish, granted discovering the necessary items to research locations. It is entirely up to the player's prerogative to complete the game without uncovering all that the story has to offer. I'm sure I sound like a broken record by now, but Breath of the Wild is the most fulfilling game I've ever played. I've never felt like I've undergone such an epic adventure or explored so much in a video game. Since the video game allowed me to progress through it in any fashion I please, I decided to complete as many side quests and shrines as I could before even bothering with the story and dungeons, only to figure out that I've only completed a relatively small fraction of the side quests and shrines after 30 or 40 hours of consistent gameplay. And even while trying to complete shrines and side quests, I was easily distracted by something every 5 minutes or less that forced me to take a detour from my original goal. Getting sidetracked became such a reoccurring process that I will often end up lost and forgetting what I originally intended to do, because I was literally seduced by the tantalizing and nearly never-ending attraction Breath of the Wild has to offer. This was good because the game inadvertently forced me to learn aspects of the game that I would normally purposely overlook. while at the same time harnessing my skills and constantly providing me with items to upgrade Link with. What we are getting with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a perfect construction and polymerization of nearly every enjoyable aspect of the Zelda franchise compacted into one game. It is a delightfully captivating experience that start to finish that reminded me of why I became an enormous Zelda fan, and why I'm still an enormous Zelda fan, and why I will always be an enormous Legend of Zelda fan. At this moment, I couldn't imagine having a better representation of why the franchise is so well loved across the globe. This is literally a Zelda game you've been waiting for your entire life. A quintessential S-class rating, a gift from the Most High himself. Alright YouTube fam, you guys know how I do. If you know me, you know it's real. If you follow me, you know the deal. I'm still doing the giveaway for the Nintendo Switch at 1,000 subscribers. All you have to do is be subscribed to my channel at King Chimera, and also be following me at at least one of my social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Share one of my videos and tag me in the post for a chance to win this very Nintendo Switch. The offer will be ongoing until I reach 1,000 subscribers, so go ahead and promote, guys. And this is your boy Brimesus, the wisest and powerful of all nerds. See you next time.